When you're going to the I hear when you're going to some more delivering is what I know. You want anybody off? What the bill? Give me my money bill. What can I tell you? What the bill? I am waiting to get my years off. What did I get? What did I know? I'm a bunch of what you and you're going to know. What that's my desire. Oh, now what I just want. That's my desire. What you did just want. Why you want? And you know, oh no. This is you no. Oh, you will do this one. You will not deserve my trust. You will. Oh my God. You will do this one. We will worship you and never alone.
Hello everyone, my name is Foye, aka Diamond. I would like to share a little bit about someone incredibly special to me, my mother, Rose Johnson. My mother is the heart and soul of our family. Her love and unwavering support has shaped my siblings and I into the women we are today. She has taught us the value of kindness, resilience, and compassion. On October 26th, we will be gathering to honor and celebrating our mother's incredible journey and all the lives she has touched. We would be delighted if you can join us on this special occasion, which will be hosted at the Portuguese Club in Cranston, Rhode Island. Your presence will mean the world to us. Thank you and God bless. Bye.
Welcome, I'm Alfonso Zia-Sot of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR-TV. We want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. Thank you for joining us here. It's good to be back after a few days away, and the little chihuahuas were all over the place here, acting like they was in control of the situation. But the owner of the microphone is here. Let's see what happened, because we're going to set some new grand games, rules on this network. The liberals wing of this network continues to polarize this network as if it is their personal. This is LPR. And so in that context, we have to do what we have to do. We want to welcome, we're going to have a new face, not new face. He has been on this network in our bid to open this network to the broader spectrums of our people and engage wider conversation. We'll have a new face, a new voice who potentially will be a regular, but someone that I really been knowing for quite a while. So we tend to make it balanced, fair. But in the meanwhile, let's take this yet. We always engage in community initiative as well. And among my mother's children, I love myself the best. And so a group of women in the ocean state of Rhode Island calling itself Women of Substance. Women of Substance will be having their annual dinner ball right here in the ocean state. As I'm telling you right now, out of the waves, the eyelashes, and everything running out of stock in the ocean state, because it's going to be next Friday. And in fact, they are hired the expertise of the Liberia Public Radio to bring that. Women of Substance will be having their annual dinner board. The board is expected to take place at 70 Jefferson Boulevard. It's a beautiful chandelier room. Ticket is 50, but if you want to pay more than $50, that's okay. The president there is the CEO President Lieutenant Mobia is the president. The guest speaker of this occasion, our understanding, is Mrs. Agnes Dean Babler, wife of Professor Edmund Zaza Babler. She is expected to mount the podium to address the women. The team is Together in Love. Yes, right here in the ocean state of Rhode Island, we are always together in love. So it's going to be a big event. Let's welcome a face who's going to be here. Mr. Nathan Tanambit Latro A's will be contributing right here on this network. I know some people are panicking, the liberal wing of this network, because we'll try to open this gap to bring independent voices. However, I really don't know which side, but who will ask we'll get to do. But we're good to have him here. He is the chairman of the Liberian community. Doing extraordinary job here. So welcome. I'm Alfonso Zia. So let's get the ball rolling right here. And the analysts are standing by, and I will usher them in right away. Let's take this break. We'll be right back. The show. I'm Alfonso Zia. So the Liberal is standing by, is a strong supporter of President Joseph Newman Boykai from America. Now he's visiting the Pope in Italy. My goodness, how many delegates this time around? 150? Oh Lord, our money going away. Let me break in. The Liberal Progressive is standing by in Sacramento, California, and it's a strong ally of President Jose Newman Boykai. Is that how to call him? Boykai or Boykai? Hello?
Mr. So, good evening to you as well.
I'm trying to make sure of the name. Is that Boykai or Boykai?
Mr. So, good evening to you. Nice having me and we will do our best tonight again to have a real conversation. You are a Liberian, just as I am, and you were not born in Monrovia. You are from the hinterland. You know how to pronounce these things. I'm not here to show you how to pronounce the president of the Republic of Liberia, the father of the nation. And so please do your best to study his name, and so that you can pronounce it properly if you want to maintain your position in the Society of the Republic of Liberia community, Mr. Soul.
Give me a break. That you need to get a better microphone, like spend good money. That look like more or less Walmart stuff here. Okay, but let me bring in Mr. Latrell Nitton. Will be providing his expertise here on this network, Liberia Public Radio. He will be contributing here. So I will always try to do the best. Let me just give you an editor's knee here. Good. But I know the Liberal and his Jerry back on will be freaking out here again, but who cares? So just hold on 1 second, and I will try to get this going. Mr. Lutro, is that whether you can flip that device to make it more or less in a horizontal form? Is it possible to do it that way? Okay. All right, there we go. Okay, good evening. Why does Liberal frown his face like somebody taking a cow in a slaughterhouse? What are you commenting about? What is your fear? What is your fear? What do you think is happening? Who cares? You would do it. Okay, good evening. I would say welcome. This is All Things Considered right here on the Diaspora Informative News Network. I am your host and lead anchor on this network. Any other person in charge of the microphone here, it means I am just away and they are there as a proxy. So don't mind them. The old man that of gossip, you see there. So, oh my goodness. He now send message to his patron. Okay, let me bring in Jerry Washington back on. He's a strong supporter of the president. Is here. So let's see what happened here this evening here. Okay, in the first place, we're gonna do a little bit of housekeeping here. Let's welcome our guy here, who is not a stranger to Mr. Bacon, but I like to come from the house's mouth to introduce yourself.
But when that juice to juice we on tonight?
That's exactly what we're on.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Bacon, welcome. Let's welcome. Listen. There's a new. Listen. When I'm away, you and your Liberal. Hold on.
You change my title. See how you do it? You change my title. You see what you can do? You see what you can do? Yeah, what you got there? Contributor. That's not my title there, my man.
Your left position business.
Put my title back in that place of respect.
Yeah, but why you change his title? Why you change the title?
Thank you.
So look.
Make it same like same.
Look. I will not entertain that. I told you I send that in the chat room. We're not going to have too much.
Yeah, but don't. The man's a senior analyst of security analyst.
Listen. This is unacceptable. If you guys on ERBC, you act like a little butter camel, you're not going to come here to contaminate our program. Just how you maintain yourself on the state radio. If you come here, maintain yourself, or SOUT out. Let's get a program going. Let's welcome our brother, Mr. Latrell, is in the Ocean State of Rhode Island. We've been having this conversation. Jerry, I don't know whether your neck is hurting or you're having toothache. I'm sorry, just get a pain tablet and you will be okay. So sometimes, yeah. So let's welcome our brother to introduce yourself and we'll get right down to the wire.
Well, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure being here. As a matter of fact, I'm not a new face, of course. Right. I'm actually an old face to this program. Mr. Toad, it's a pleasure meeting you as well. I know Jerry, I know Alfonso, great gentleman from the Ocean State. I guess we basically besieged the program tonight, so Mr. Toad has to come. You know, he has to find some backup or something. But we're here. I'm
in your introduction.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh,
Yes, sir.
oh. So you,
I'm a
so that the conversation between you and Mr. So to come. Oh, okay. Please carry on.
Will you
we're
please
told that we
give
have to
me
Okay,
besiege you.
okay,
You know, we have to besiege you. So that's what it is. You either
oh,
beleaguer or besiege. You take a pick. But, but all things considered, my name is Nathan Nangwe Latrobe. I carry the name Nangwe Latrobe because I'm my mother's son as much as my father's son. So I carry both my parents' last name. I do that on purpose for people to know exactly where I come from. I'm the chairman of the board for Liberian Community Association, and currently, full disclosure, I'm an active duty soldier. I serve over 20 years in the United States Army, and so I still do that for work. And on my spare time, well, not my spare time, basically full time, I help run the Liberian Community Association. So I'm here. I'm completely objective. I'm fair and balanced. At least I would say for now, until I get my footing, and then we figure it out from there.
fair and balanced. Okay, now we know who
Yes,
you are.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
so in the interest, me being the independent, very few are independent. Who knows whether we want to come here or column. So let's ask the question. We do not want to leave our audience with ambiguity going in doubt. Why, Jerry? Jerry, why are you nervous here tonight?
Mr. So, if you don't mind, we have to walk a young man who's just joining us.
You are not running a show. Please don't. I told you there is a new sheriff. There's a new way of getting things done here. Let me ask you quickly, Mr. Lotro, before I come back to these people. Jerry Bacon is now on your side. This is Jerry Bacon guy. If you don't know, let me just tell you right now. So don't bank on Jerry Bacon. You're not going to get whatever you're going to get. But let me just, we know Liberia is a polarized society, and we welcome all political views on this network, no matter who you are, wherever you are. Do you have any affiliation with any political institutions in Liberia or here operating as a super PAC, like the case of Jerry Bacon and the Liberal Progressive? Is there any ties with any political institution?
Absolutely not. By virtue of my work, I can't. And as a person, I'm completely independent as well. I have no political ties with any political party here or in Liberia whatsoever.
All right, bravo. The independent voices are getting ready to battle. Okay, let me go to Saxton, Sacramento. The Liberal Progressive is here. He also is the chairperson of the board of directors, who always like to exercise his authority, intimidating me. He will dismiss me. They will call for audio when there's no audio needed, whatever it is. But we have done with all of that, being heavily supported by Jerry Bacon Washington. The Liberal Progressive.
Thank you, Mr. Thank you, Mr. So, literal. Thank you very much for joining us. I really do appreciate young people trying to come in and discuss serious issue about our country. And with your experience, the fact that you have served and continue to serve the Liberian community, I believe that your opinions are very much vital on this network. Here on this network, we have discussions. Sometimes the discussion can be very heated, but however, at the end of the day, we're always laughing and carry on. Nothing personal, it's all business. Nobody go personal, it's all business. But I really do, I believe with as young as you are, and just listening to you, your level of intellect is high, I believe. And I trust that you will utilize this here effectively to see how things are, how can we give voices to those voiceless less or voiceless back in Liberia and even here. And the fact that you say you have no political affiliation, but at the end of your statement, very interesting sentence there, say you are fair and balanced. That sounds like a Fox News to me. Fair. So I can definitely clear. I will wait before I give you a label here. I'm going to take my time and observe. But fair and balanced, you already 1 foot with the conservative view on this network. I hope that you will see the liberal side of things and utilize your independency to truly judge who is speaking for the Liberian people here on this network. Thank you very much and welcome. Let's have a good show.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Let's go to neighboring city of Pawtucket, where Mr. Gerald Bacon is standing by. Mr. Bacon, good evening. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. Mr. Nambe, welcome. Good to be on the platform with you. We have shared a lot of in common. We are going way back. I saw your name on the list, and I said, "Wow, we're going to have an interesting program." I know you bring in a lot of expertise on the program. Based upon your background, military, your education. So we need people like you to come and give us some ideas. What we are going within the community. I know you've been very active in the community. Myself here, I'm guilty. I have not been taking part in the community, but something caught my mind the other day. I said, you know what? I have to go to meeting. Hopefully by next time I will become the meeting. If I get a citation, I'll become the meeting. At least I need to take part in the community. It's our community. We have to help each one of us to make sure the community is successful. Thank you. I'm ready. But Mr. So, I need my title back there. I don't want to be disrespected tonight. I need my title back there, please.
I agree with you. I agree with you, co-host. I agree with you. He needs to put your title back. And I'm speaking as a board chair. I'm throwing my weight around right now. Not literally, but I'm throwing my board chair weight around. Mr. So, as a CEO, you need to have the title that this young man was given from the start. Please give it back to this young man. Let him operate under that title, please.
Look, guys, they are trying to find anything possible they can to lay here on to do to something. Okay, well, guys, good evening as usual. Thank you for your service, Mr. Toot, Mr. Bacon. Thank you. You did a great job during our absence. It's okay, but there were a lot of tabata around here that we were away, but we're still getting those phone calls. And our intent on this network is to bring independency and not to create some sort of a cheering squad here that people sees one side of the world, thus disadvantaging the other spectrums of the Liberian community. As you know, this is Wednesday, and this is all things considered. So we're going to be throwing things in and out there.
Mr. So, please, I don't mean to interrupt. Clarence Davis, if you go to Liberia Public Radio, not LPR, but Liberia Public Radio, you will see the show live, please.
Look,
go ahead, Mr. So.
I know you're trying to communicate with your fans. That is okay, but I don't think you should disrupt people. Okay, so let's have a conversation. All things considered, let me go to Jared Bacon right here in the state of Pawtucket, right here, Rowland. Jared, how are you doing? Where is the president of the Republic of Liberia?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. I mean,
yeah, where is the old man?
Oh, my old man.
Which old man?
Exactly. Is he not an old man? He is.
It's a president, Mr.
Listen, sir. He is Excellency, the President of the Republic of Liberia. If you want to put an old man there, it should be in a close proximity. So, Excellency Joseph Nyuma Bwaka, the President of the Republic of Liberia. Then you can say the old man. So that goes straight.
Is he an old man?
So far, the Excellency is in good health. He Italy in Rome. He met with a lot of business people today, and he's doing extremely well. He's still advocating for Liberia to see where Liberia will be, and to make sure that we get from out of the hole and where we are, or be the repetition of the Republic of Liberia, put them back on the map. And hopefully see where we are, where he's going to bring back home.
The Liberal, let's hear you.
Yeah, well, Mr. So, thank you very much. You talked about LBS earlier. We were on LBR today, and it was not an easy task where Noah Gibson and George Lobo were there to actually lift the platform to the next level as though it was a private platform. And we reminded them that that platform belongs to all Liberians, and you cannot come on the platform as such to denigrate other former leaders or what have you. And we try to straighten things up out there. We did our best. There was some false information I was giving, and we just point them out to them. But at the end, we get to understand that it's a bigger platform than individuals. So when we come up there to speak, we have to speak in terms of interest for the Republic of Liberia, not the interest of a unity party. The campaign season is over. We reminded those people. So I think we're doing good. We will continue to remind folks the campaign season is over. We will speak the truth about this government and whatever the government is doing, but at the same time, we will be respectful to past leaders of the Republic of Liberia. And that was the bigger conversation today on that. Other than that, Mr. So, we're waiting to have an engagement with you this evening, respectfully engagement with you, truthful engagement with you, where we will tell you how we feel and how things are. And knowing who you are, you don't like to, let's say, stamp on people's liberty. And so we will utilize that service here tonight to truly express ourselves. Thank you very much.
We always leave the microphone open no matter what it is. We always listen to all sides of the coin. That's who we are. We do not operate artificial phones where certain group of people at liberty to call. But let me just come to Mr. Troll right now. Nathan, if you will, to call you. This is who we are. Do you guys, I'm not sure, these gentlemen, have they disclosed their full identity, who they are with respect to their political background? Have they said anything of such?
This is not a courtroom. I am not on the bench. I am not a witness in your chair to come and disclose who I am and what I'm not. Please, let's have a show, Mr. So. I am not here to come and disclose what I do and what I don't do. This is not, we're not in a courtroom. And finally, this is not even a banana republic. This is like the USA, where I have my right to conceive what I want to conceive. Please, don't tell me to disclose what I do and what I am not.
I'm just asking a simple question, and you just rolling all over the place. Go ahead, Nathan.
So by virtue of the title, of course, I know Mr. Toe is a liberal. He's espoused that completely the entire time he's been here. He talked about being fair and balanced. He talked about the conversation of the code being fair and balanced relating to Fox News. So obviously that he's kind of triggered by that particular phrase. So I get that part. So he's a liberal. I know Jerry, on various occasions, we full disclosure, we went to college together. We're classmates in college. So besides that point, I know him. I know the fact that he's associated and affiliated with the GMB movement as well. So I see where we are. His political persuasions, I don't know personally, but again, we get to find out. I hope that we can continue the conversation and dialogue.
Jesus Christ.
And we will see. Eventually, we'll see. Welcome, Tony, Terry. And I'll leave it at that for now.
Okay. Tara Collins is our senior political analyst / bishop, also supporting on this network. Welcome, Michael.
You see what he did? He introduced Terry, but when he was making introduction, he didn't make the introduction, but that's all right. I can accept him, but before I can handle anything, that's all right. Let's go ahead.
You can't put words in my mouth. Ladies and
what you coming to do now? What you coming to announce now? What you coming to do now?
Gentlemen, Mr. Latrobe, Cherry, the liberal progressive.
Yeah.
And I think this is
it's time to get a business. I mean, we just messing around. We're just messing around. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead. I'm ready.
Objective. Look at issue as it should be, and give his mind that inform the Liberian people. And he is the co-host.
Oh, he got by a job. You gave by.
Welcome, Dr. Jones. Is the co-host of the lead angle on this network. Look, Dr. Jones, I think the independent voices they are resurrected. We are added someone in our column. This is a challenge, and I think it is meant to strengthen Liberia. Dr. Jones, good evening. Welcome.
Oh, thank you very much, CEO. And I want to take this time to welcome Honorable Latrobe, and to the liberal and his co-followers. I just want to let you know that we have a new senior panelist.
No.
You can't be watching our daily co-host,
not co-follower.
You see, as a co-followers, I didn't make mistake with the choice of voice. We have a new senior panelist. We don't need to watch our clothes outside now, Libra, please.
Nah, I'm part of the family, so you do what you do, man. I'm here.
No, we got nothing yet. Or LPR, we don't have anything. You were fired from the co-host. The man, with shamefully, he brought you by again tonight, introduced you as your co-host. LPR, you know who told us that you were fired? One of the fans.
Wait a minute now. What's your record? Yet. No, what's your evidence?
Oh. What's the letter? What's the letter? You have Ami Muda. You have Ami Muda with all of the scannet. You're pressuring you resign. You're not investigating. Is that Dr. Malice? Let's have a conversation. Gentlemen, good evening. To welcome.
Thank you.
Dr. Malice, let's make progress here. A lot is happening within the news cycle, far and near, and we are keeping eyes on the ball. A lot is unfolding. Terry, good evening. To welcome. How is Minneapolis?
Yeah, Minneapolis is on. It's getting cold. The weather is changing, but we're on. And good afternoon to good evening to the panel. Mr. Nangwe, you are welcome. And the security analyst, along with Dr. Male, officially. And also the liberal. And then we come to the CEO. We want to say thanks for allowing us on the show again. We appreciate it.
Okay. Dr. Jones?
Yes, sir.
So,
thank you.
That's
good. Thank you, Sister Clark. Thank you so much.
Today is Wednesday, and this is all things considered, but a lot is happening. What do you know? Where is the president, Dr. Jones? The president of the Republic of Liberia. Where he going again?
Oh, I learned he went to the Vatican. I don't know whether he has returned. That's the latest information I got. I don't know whether he has returned, but of late, I learned he's been at the Vatican to see the Pope.
Oh,
yeah, according to Liberal.
Oh, he changing his religion from Baptist to Catholic now, or where he going? He wants to be a Catholic.
The beggar have no choice now. Go anywhere.
Okay, all right. Let's stop it right there. Okay, Terry, let's look in your photo this event. All things considered, man. A lot of news happening. New Dawn reporting sort of the saga with the Liberian National Police. Anthony Mariah Yakula is calling for the removal of Senator Darius DeLong. We get a new boss. It's crazy. What's going on? Eugene Fagonan, the Director General of the Liberian Broadcasting Corporation, you said something the other day. He has returned with his facts versus fiction to literally doing the work of the city corporation. It is ridiculous. Misplacement is taking place, and we need to talk about that. But let me hear you. What is happening? What is in your photo?
Yeah, my attention is drawn to that. The last one you just stated. I saw Eugene carrying. My attention is actually drawn to the PHP park that President Weah structure and the lack of maintenance, which is the city mayor's job and all of that. And I saw the LBS boss who went on the scene to try to cover up the propaganda. He instead opened it up. And that is what I'm saying, that if he's not careful, if care is not taken, something is going to happen to him. He got to be very careful. Instead of he doing damage control, he exposed the government even more. So there are certain things you don't have to, it's not your place. Let other people handle it. But his presence there with all his accessories, taking videos, and revealed that dirt is coming back from the seashore, apparently from the Sonin Pond, or the Sonin what they call, dirt is coming back. Okay, we agree. But who's also supposed to be responsible to clean the Sonin? That your government, the city mayor. So by you carrying camera all there, to think that you're trying to protect the government by saying that, oh no, the government is not the one that is allowing the debt to come on the show, but you fail to realize that it is the government responsibility to make sure that the zoning well is clean. So if the zoning well is bringing debt back on the shores to make the PHP park to look very dirty and nasty, it is your government responsible. So by you going to that extent, expose the government even further. That is why I was recommending. But these guys, they don't listen. They're not going to listen until they hit the wall. Then before they will come by and say, "Oh yeah, if I knew, I should." And he I think D-Flow. I think I saw somebody that D-Flow were there as well. So I think there are a lot unfolding, and I think there are certain things they call sleeping dog in our parable that you let sleeping dog lie. Not every propaganda that people try to pull up on your government, you go there to try to cover up. There are some things that you designate other people to handle, especially as a professional propaganda and a politician that you claim to be. So in my opinion, I think the government also need to take severe stance to make sure that our place is clean, because it do not look good. It don't look good for us. Thank you.
Okay, let me bring in the liberal elder here. He's objective, he's fair, he's balanced. Let's see who's gonna kick the can down the road. Liberal, your patron, I believe all of you were on the State Broadcasting Corporation, and I watched that live view, and someone myself went into we all were exercising, so what we feel that is right. I thought he just jumped over the board. It's just Eugene Fagon still finding a way to be before the cameras. Everybody wants to be a loyalist to the president, but you have no business going there. You should set it behind to LBS and be focusing how to open the rural network and not to go see what is happening. That's the job of the city corporation. And if there's anything the city corporation will take it up, if there's a pipe related issue from the water and sewer or whatever, they will take it up from there. But guess what? He went at the end of the day, he said he's going to be going to the city corporations. People should learn to stay in their line, or is it another aspect of people just not having orientation or not knowing their job description? Let me hear the from the liberal.
Thank you, Mr. So. As far as the video is concerned, I watched the video, but I didn't know who posted the video. In fact, I just watched maybe 2 seconds of it, and
You're trying to be dishonest. Is
Mr.
you give
Mr. So,
This
Mr.
is
So,
a hypocrisy.
Mr. So,
Hold on.
Mr.
How are you
So,
sure you didn't see? You get what? You didn't know
Mr. So, I'm being very honest with you, and you know me. I mean, I was on LBS tonight, and I like I said, George Lobo and Noah Gacy and I, we really had some serious conversation. So I'm not afraid what they're gonna say to me. Don't come by. So be it. It doesn't matter. But here's what I'm gonna say about that. I said I just watched the video about maybe less than 2 seconds, and I've saved it. I'm gonna watch it later on. I don't know who made that video. I didn't look at the name. Now, what I do know about the park, that the government on George, we have constructed the park, and the contract, they give the contract to a Liberian-owned business company to do the maintenance and everything else. But guess what? What I also read from the auditing agency, what I also read was that the contract was not, the Minister of Justice did not sign, the Minister of Finance did not sign. It was really between the city mayor and the business that they're supposed to carry on. However, the business, what I read, was asking the government of the Republic of Liberia to pay their management fee. And the issue now is, why should the government pay you when the finance minister, the how do you call it, the justice minister, those who have the authority, that supposed to be part of the signatory, and if they are not, why would the government not pay you? That's all that I read. Now, when it comes to Eugene Falcon, I will say this to you here very quickly. First of all, Eugene Falcon is a Liberian. He can go anywhere he wants to go, do just about anything he wants to do. Now, Eugene Falcon was employed. He has employer. So if the employer felt and believe that Eugene Falcon is violating certain rule, certain code, whatever it is the employer feel that Eugene Falcon is violating, he will deal with Eugene Falcon. It is not in my place to make any recommendation or to condemn another Liberian for carrying out whatever way they see fit to get themselves be out there and publish issue about Liberia. And not because I work with ELBC and what have you. One of the things if you don't know this, on a Eugene Falcon, and I'll be very truthful here, on a Eugene Falcon, they are now restructuring the ELBS. People are praising
That's not my
Mr. So you're
question.
not gonna tell me what
No,
to
but
say. This
you
is
know,
what you
okay,
do. No,
if
but
you
let me
can't
finish.
answer my,
Let me
no,
finish
if you
my
can't
statement.
answer my question,
Let me
let me
finish.
answer you.
No,
Hold on, hold
I
on.
answer
You get
what
20
I was saying.
seconds. You
Well,
get
how?
20 seconds.
If okay, 20 seconds. That's fine. So if you go to ELBS, you will see the kinds of what Eugene Falcon is doing. So I'm not here to certify your LPR eco trips to try to say who did what and what have you. Thank you very much.
We want to welcome Professor Asese Labozawot. Is our own senior analyst here.
Is that CDC professor?
All right. Well, you can say whatever you want to say. Later, I want to be coming to you. Let me go to Jerry. Jerry, your man chose purposely not to answer my question. I asked a specific question, and I know the reason why he's not answering that question. He doesn't want to answer it because he wants to maintain his position on LBS. So he here tried to give all of the praises to Eugene Falcon. I just asked a simple question. Let me direct that question. We talk about accountability. People, the president confide in people to get certain job done. Is he telling me that every little pipe or every little pit that there's so he will leave his ELBS station? That's why they have outside broadcast crew. Now so will he be going to Lofa, Nima, all of those places? No. Let me come to you, Jerry Barker. Let me just ask you, because your man played the fifth. I'm not sure whether you're going to go with it in that direction. Do you have the opportunity to watch that live?
See, we all have responsibility. Listen, you asked me a question. I'm answering it, sir.
Okay, I'm listening.
But that's not what I wanted. That's not what I wanted to talk about. But since you asked me that question, what let me do with this? No, as a director, you had a responsibility. You got to deputize people to do it. If it's not done, then you can go there and see what is not done. I mean, that's why as a supervisor, that's what it's all about. I mean, you cannot micromanage people, especially in the kind of environment. But here's what I want to talk about.
Okay, good.
It's a sad day. It's a sad day in Liberia. Those are listening to us tonight. Our police officer on the 12th of October went to a hotel, an investor who went to Liberia, carried $28,000. I mean, it's still going up, but the money is still more than that, $28,000 US. And he was robbed by police officers who went and had these people. And the director, the word he knew, individual, are you kidding me? These people should have been arrested. The police officers should have been arrested and handcuffed. That's an armed robbery. That's a attempted kidnapping. That is burglary. I mean, I would throw the book at him. I would send it to South Beach that same day. But what he did, they fired the patrolman and they let two people to say they are in the vision. Folks, it is disgrace to our police, someone who wore a uniform and will stay serving. It is a disgrace to that uniform. It also is a disgrace to the organization of the law enforcement in our country. In closing, I don't want to take the. I wrote up. Can you zoom the camera here, please? Can you zoom the camera here?
Yeah, let's see.
Okay.
My practice something.
It's not coming out yet.
Yeah.
That's because it got a background screen. Okay. So you got to remove your background screen to shoot that.
Okay. So, but anyway, here's the point I try to make. I wrote an article, a negative impact on policing, corruption, and malpractice in our society. 2021, I wrote the article. and someone will protect it. This thing ain't going to happen. It's just a starting point because we still have some of the people who were involved in criminal activities and they are not invented right and they are still in the police force. It's a disgrace to our organization. Not only to the police department, but law enforcement as a whole. And I hope we can go into depth on that issue tonight because it is not in the interest of the Liberian government. It is not in the interest of Liberia. It's a black day on the cloud on our country, especially investors that are coming to this country. And not only patrolmen, high-ranking officials. Yeah, it's not
I will come
sergeant,
back
it's
to
not
you.
lieutenant. These
I will, okay, I will come back to you, and the question I will throw in, but you can be thinking about the answer: who to be held responsible? It has happened. Who should be held accountable? Sister, good evening, welcome. Let me go to Dr. Jones. What is on your plate?
Well,
Cool.
yeah, thank you, sir. Uh, hmm. I've been also looking at the 10,000 recruit His Excellency promised to help some 10,000 youth to take them through the digital transformation in Liberia. So I've been doing my own assessment today about this whole thing, and I've been looking at the pro and the con, the future for employment, given the fragile nature of our country, investor not coming, even though His Excellency has promised that most of the travel he's making is going to yield dividend in the future. Well, we want to hold him by his word, and there are possibility. It happened with all government. When you come to power, you got to lob it around, and at some point in time, things will begin to trickle in. But given the fragile security system in our country, I try to link it to these kids where they were recruited, who was recruited, and actually the job market for them, you know, and probably we'll go into some of the details tonight. And that also carried me back to Mr. Barkon's story about the police and what have you. You know, there's something in Liberia right now, they should not be a surprise to us. Not at all. Shouldn't be at all. We pray that they don't happen, but they shouldn't be a surprise to us. The culture of impunity is being manifested in so many ways in Liberia. I yield.
Okay, Sister, welcome. Let me go to Nathan, and I will come to Sister Boyard from the Education Campaign Avenue in Minneapolis, Minnesota. But Nathan, let me just bring you in, and I will just throw you in here quickly to respond to what Jerry said. And this is actually from the New Dawn news outlet. LNP dismisses suspends officer for robbery. This includes high-profile officer, assistant commissioner. So there is it's high here. Something much more needs to be done. Let me just hear. LNP has suspended Assistant Commissioner for Police, ACP Sambala, LMPR2, Patrolman Augustine Bain, of the Criminal Intelligence Division. So those are places, high security apparatus within the police to help to get like what Mr. Bacon said. These people allegedly being reported were business persons where you have a assistant commissioners allegedly involved in this, according to the new down here. When you hear this with your background, what it takes for, is it a common thing with any be a paramilitary institution to get these things done without other people being collaboration?
And first of all, let me just state for the record that those things happening in our country is completely wrong. On the record, we people. But having said that, full disclosure, I'm an investigator. I used my former job and hopefully my present job I'm going to when I retire is I serve as the deputy assistant inspector general for our state here. So I've done investigations before. I think first and foremost, just on his face, to fire a police officer just by so let me just digress a little bit. We need to deconstruct the concept of people just hearing things and jumping to conclusions about it. That's number one. Whether that police officer committed the crime or not, that's not the issue at hand. You cannot fire a police officer that you train in just under 1 day because you're here or whatever. You cannot investigate a crime in 1 day. There's no way. Absolutely. Step back and look at the entire scenario, because first of all, you can't fire and then suspend another person. You have to have equal punishment, of the law for everyone involved. So I would say, first and foremost, the police commissioner, he's the face of the police, of course. However, there needs to be an investigative arm of the police that needs to do due diligence to that particular entire scenario, and not just on his face fire one person, a patrolman, and then suspend an assistant director or something. There has to be more to it. They need to give due diligence to those officers, and if they did in fact commit the crime, then of course the full weight of the law would be granted upon them. So it would be maybe incarceration, maybe it would be losing their stuff, maybe whatever their punishment is. But first of all, we need to take a step back and deconstruct that whole that idea of just throwing a guilty plea at them without even the due process.
So quickly before I go to Sissy here, you are trying to go in more or less side to get the detail. Now the commissioner's decision is being made, one being fired, one being suspended. So what happens if the investigation proves the contrary? Now you fire the man, will you bring him back? Is that where you're coming from?
Someone, first of all, if you're going to go on the scene and fire a patrolman, right, and then suspend an inspector, it should be reversed, because the patrolman is acting on the orders of the inspector, right? Whether he once there's two folks that within that same arena affecting the same arrest or whatever they did there, the person with high authority bears the burden of whatever happens at that particular scene. And so of course, if it was a crime, in fact, the inspector, we need first of all an investigation, and then the inspector would first bear the full blunt of it, and then of course it's going to roll down, of course, to the patrolman. But again, I'll take a step back. I want to see the facts. I want to know exactly what it is. I understand the implications. I understand that it has a lot to do with investors and all that. But I'll take a step back from this and actually hear the facts before I can actually render a decision on it.
Okay, let me go to Sissy. Sissy, good evening to welcome. I saw you cheering out here. What was that cheering for?
I was cheering my brother for saying that people have to be able to step back and look for detail and not just run with every headline, which sometimes might be hyperbolic. But I've also read the New Dawn newspaper, and in there, the Inspector General is quoted as saying an investigation is ongoing. So he didn't say that was the end of it. But more besides, I'm on the newspaper page that also reported on this. The reason that Sansi Massacre was dismissed and the others were suspended is because Sansi Massacre had been suspended since 2018 for theft of property. And according to the newspaper, the LNP Acts prevent suspended officers from performing duties related to their previous work. And so because he was already suspended and then he went acting as a police officer, that is the reason he got dismissed instead of being suspended, because you're already suspended, right? So that is what the newspaper is reporting. But Gregory Como has said that investigation is ongoing. Gregory Como does not have the authority to, in 1 day time, grab people and send them to South Beach summarily without due process. And so, like my brother Nathan, as I was clapping, because there are processes, there are internal parts of the police that will do these investigations. So I think this rush to summary on the street judgment, something happened today and we fire people today, a law enforcement agency should not and must not operate in that way. I mean, this is a bad thing to happen in Liberia. But we all live in the United States, and we know whenever you have a group of people together, however professional, there will be some bad apples. A case in point is New York City right now. The police, the police chief, the IT that they brought in, and everybody is on an FBI investigation. So I just want folks to realize that when you put a lot of professionals together, there will be bad seeds that seep out, and there has to be a process that allows those people a right to hearings and investigation, and then proper action be taken. And I think that the Inspector General took the action by suspending those people while investigation is ongoing.
Okay, I know you were responding to that. I'm not sure whether that's your talking point. Let's go in your phone. You started with drinking juice now too. Have you been initiated in this juice club or what?
I'm from Minnesota. We're drinking drinks. Even though I'm not holding real cup, but we're drinking drinks. My tabata tonight is just to listen to the rest of the tabata. There's way too much going on in Liberia for me. I was intrigued by the Eugene Fagon situation. It's sometimes certain things people do, and you go, God damn man, what were you thinking?
Let me interrupt you a little bit. Do you listen to this guy, the guy way on top in the Eugene Fagon shy type? You listen to him in his intro?
Eugene Fagon get a strict type now?
This shy, he always wears same similar shy like the one liberals always wear. But go ahead, that's a different thing.
Yeah, you want people on the liberal, but you think I will let you walk by without Eugene Fagon shirt type. So you see the man dressing like Eugene Fagon now because you're on LPR. You see your flower you left? So anyways, I then listened to his intro. That's what makes Tabata Wednesday fun. It's Tabata Wednesday. But for me, I just want to listen to the rest of the panelists and listen to what's on their plate. I think sometimes we put way too much of what on our plates, and then we don't do justice to any one of the things that's on the plate because we go around and just taking those short times. And then, but Mr. Barcom brought out something that I think requires a deeper conversation because it brought us on what Mr. Mali brought out. It brought us on the security, and it brought us on job creation. These are investors, right? If your country is not secure, if people can't be secure from the people that are sworn to secure you, it creates panic. It makes it difficult for folks to want to invest. And so it touches on a lot of things. So I don't want to put anything on the table. I think between the both of them, they have enough here that we can chew on for tonight.
Okay, so I think the perfect guy is to get into this here, to take us inside of this here, Nathan, and that of Jerry back on Washington. I'm surprised that Washington taking this sort of outline here, which is also great. This is the liberalization policies and making Liberia to be better. But Jerry, without us getting to the details, you heard Nathan saying here, so let us digress a little bit. Let's take a bite. Let's have a full investigation before taking it. But just on the surface, by just us hearing this, investors and getting that money, whether it is that sum or even it's less, by virtue of the part, it is in the airspace now, having these sort of conversations. What is the implications on our country or in the business world, you think?
Well, someone who's been preaching it for a long time. This is what's going to happen in our country, especially when it comes to the law enforcement institutions. And we need to retrain our people. And all these things is important. It also gives a cloud over our country, as just said. These people, before they come to our country, they do a research on our country. What is the crime rate in our country? What is the protection, what they have, the security, and all the implications. But let me say something to my dear brother Nathan here, Mr. Namwe. If you can recall, 2016, 2015, 2016, a Craftston police officer took a cruiser and had sex in the car in the cruiser in the back of the building, and the former city mayor, Mr. Fan, what he did. No, I know the police people had a bit of right, to go through the bit of right, but they fired him, and he went for arbitration, and he lost the case. And guess what? What he did? They sent him to prison. He went to prison for an assault or a rape, or what was the charge? two officers at that movement. There were two patrol officers. They were sent to jail for that because of the impropriety. So they think, even though I understand, you say we'll take a step back, but you as a police officer, you went to a hotel with an arm and you arrested the people. What were the charge? What were the charges leveled against them? But more than that, let me go a little further. This is as the police aspect. But the question we need to ask ourselves is, if we're investigating, how today people know that they have that amount of money in their possession? There might be your inside job, okay? Because somebody might have tipped the police officer then off to say this is what some people in their in their hotel came with so amount of money before you enter in Liberia. We all go to Liberia or we all go to different countries. They give you that form to fill it in to declare your asset to see how many money you bring into this country. And some people will never be honest. But how do these people were informed that this investor brought in huge amount of money, and for people to go there to have such a Indian act? I mean, it's a lot of investigation, and not just with the police department, but also the proprietor of that hotel, and also the security in that hotel, or those are in the hotel. So a lot of things need to be done.
Okay, let me hold you there and all of you, but let me go to Nathan here quickly. Nathan, is there anything possible on planet Earth, like Jerry just alluded? So the question becomes, on whose order I'm wondering these officers went in there to, even whether it was the search warrants or whatever, whose order? Can we ask that question? And on what basis was there any violation? How these people entered the country? When they came through the border, through the air, and were there any maybe incorrect documentation? And if so, why did the IBNS, that is the Bureau of Immigration, why did they allow them to even enter in the first place, to allow them to get shelter, go in a hotel now, and going? So the question is it possible that people, law enforcers, can go anywhere without acting on the orders of superior officer?
So they can, but they shouldn't. Let's put it that way. I think what needs to happen is we need to redefine the role of all, military, paramilitary, and security apparatus in the country, first of all. Because in order to establish that people need to, to be able to effect an arrest or for such a seizure or whatever they do, it has to be within your lane. And unfortunately, folks don't stay in their lane when they do stuff. So, the questions that Jerry asked about, an inside job or whatever, that all that's going to be, expanded upon when the investigation ensues, of course, again, it's due process. We're not saying that, we need not to get to the bottom of it. What we're trying to avoid as practitioners ourselves. Yes, sir.
No, go ahead. I just want to say something. Go ahead when you're done.
Yeah, what we're trying to avoid as practitioners is jungle justice. That's what we're trying to avoid, because being law enforcement ourselves, we have to be able to enforce the law on ourselves. And so the law has to take its full effect, not just, an instantaneous, like gratification, like, oh, we have to do this, everyone here, and we like fire everyone from. And so the brother mentioned that the other guy was suspended since 2018. Why was he even at the police? Why was he even considered a cop if you've been suspended since 2018? At that rate, you shouldn't be even in uniform.
And this is an interesting question coming from one of our followers. Same the same. How in the world can someone be suspended since 2018?
We call it forever suspension.
Yeah. So why was someone who was suspended since 2018? What are the merits of the case? What happened? And so, first of all, he should not even be a cop. So that's bad on the inspector general. But again, he can't be everywhere. But he has to know that whatever happened. If I was him, the first thing I do when I take over, because he wasn't there prior, is to go ahead and ask questions. Like, have a briefing. You do a staff brief, or you do a training meeting as we do, and you sit down and go like from every shop. From your public service person to your operations person, tell you exactly what's on the docket. So you're aware. You have to do a daily, if not weekly, briefing of what's happening. And so when it comes to all these things, I think it's just reorientation where we have to train our people and understand this is, before you do certain things, you have to know this. we're concerned about investment. It has a huge economic, political implication with investors and all that stuff. So whatever. Now we can get into a whole different conversation about the level of investment that we need to encourage in the country. That's a whole different conversation we can have. But for now, I say, and I'll repeat again, let's take a step back. Let them do their due diligence. But again, the buck stops with one person, and it stops with the police commissioner or the inspector general. If anything goes wrong, especially having someone in your service that has been suspended since 2018.
So, and this question is a sort of center of gravity here this evening, coming from staying here. So, Terry, if you were police commissioner on Gary Coleman, and this microphone were to be directed to Phoenix, Arizona, and this lady asking this question, maybe let me just paraphrase it. Commissioner, are you aware that this guy has been suspended since 2018? What could possibly be the answer?
Well, yes, that would be the answer. I'm aware that the man was suspended 2018, but probably I'm not aware that the man is in operation. So there are two different things. So the man could be suspended, which is the acknowledgement of the police, but whether if the Coleman knew that he was on that assignment at that particular time, that's a whole different ballgame. But I think my problem is Coleman have been calling for reformation of the national police. And the national police, with over 5,000 of them, some have not been taking pay. We must understand that the police is challenged. There are police officers who are taking home pay $100, $90, some of them $80 and all that kind of thing. All right? You cannot keep these kind of people in the force and think that they are not committing crimes. It's not possible. Another notion also is that when last we ever had a good police in Liberia? Can you give me one regime that had an excellent police by which the Liberian people praise and say, yeah, the police are good? Internationally, police are highly discriminated, especially Liberia, where you don't even have much facilities to boost the capacity of the police department. All right? They are way behind in everything almost. Logistics, support, and everything. So as a result, there are so many indicators that will point to the police committing crimes. Until we can address the issue of police reformation, we will continue to see these lapses over and over again.
Okay, let me bring, these are all political tone here. Holding the Bible one hand on the other side. Try to be politically correct. Yes, you are aware this person was suspended, but you are not aware whether that suspension is lifted. Dr. Malik Jones is perfectly suited to address it because let's say something to Jared Washington here. Look, Terry is putting on a cap here.
Well, hold on one second, Mr. So. As Jerry officially accepted the name, last name Washington, because this is the third time hearing you tonight referring to the man as Jerry Washington, and he has not said anything to push back.
Why is he pushing back? That's his name.
I want to make sure.
So, Dr. Jones.
Yeah.
Dr. Jones, you heard Terry here putting Mendo's voice together. Sissy there cheering her, giving her fire, holding the scripture on the other side here, holding the political tools on the other side. Yes, I would say yes. Okay, you say yes. Are you also saying yes or no whether this guy's suspension was lifted? You came to carry a restructure, reformation in his own word. So here, who kicked the can down the road here? Somebody should be held accountable. He was suspended 2018, and we in 2021. Terry, we here, we in now.
Well, 2024.
I don't know whether the Inspector General himself should be called to order in this case.
It's an independent voice.
Because if someone is suspended 2018 and he stayed within the rank and file of the police receiving paycheck,
my son, bring my tablet. Let me take my tablet.
I think there's a need to call the police director to order. I know we are running a tail war system, and everything that is underdeveloped, including the police. But this baffled my imagination. Someone suspended 2018. What is he doing around the police? What's going on? Who brought him back?
He has gone to rescue the investors.
Yeah, is he on payroll? Because Gregory is not a stranger to the police. He served as deputy before in the same police, Gregory. So there's nothing strange there. People are saying, oh, Gregory will have to. Gregory decided to bring his expertise to the police at this time. And to be very frank with you, when Latro said, maybe he looking at it from the perspective where the rule of law should take place, we should not jump into a conclusion. I agree with him, but even in the very country we're in, the most sophisticated country we're in right now, when there's allegation around a government official in this country, what happens? Before the due process even starts, people calling you to step down. People even calling you ahead of schedule to step down. All right. So the problem, I mean, maybe I don't have all the facts, but it is very complicated, to be very frank with you. And I'm more concerned about the implication of this thing. Because if the police, who's supposed to be protecting local businesses, have become what I call giant thieves, that's a serious business. A very, very serious business. They should be concerning to the police director, you see. But I think the Justice Ministry need to call the police director to a conference to account for the 2018 guy.
So Dr. Malik, before I go to the liberal wing, should this police commissioner be called in by the
Justice Ministry? Yes,
Justice
Ministry.
Yes.
Yes.
But don't you think the Justice Ministry himself need to go to give to explain and all of that?
Well, I may not want
the Chief Justice said, "Oh, so be going."
Well, I may not want to be. I may not want to. But the question now is, I strongly want to believe probably there are so many people in the police now, because it's like this has even given me another understanding that there are so many things going on in the police. A lot of people either there, not on payroll, doing their own thing. Even I learned from one of the dailies, 3 guys were suspended, were fired, and they carried their guns with them.
Okay, let me go to, I hear Esther saying music is playing. Is it still playing? Is that what? Liberal,
I just listened to it on my end, but it's not playing on my side. So I was just about to ask her, because I saw that. I don't know.
Maybe that liberal tried to sabotage again.
Yeah,
but I listened to the show on my phone, but I'm not hearing the music playing either. So I don't know if it stopped.
Yeah, maybe he stopped. He stopped because they called him out. Okay. So, Liberal, I guess okay now. You give me a migraine. You say you want to take a tablet here. But look, let's be honest here. If you think you are an honest guy, as you profess to be, yeah, the police commissioner is aware. But what did he do? If this guy is suspended, did he review his file as to his suspension and what his current status he coming in?
Thank you, Mr. So. I would take a different view on this whole issue here, to be honest with you. Those of all who've been around for a long time, when we look at these things and we look at it holistically, I mean, this is a police issue, I agree. Remember, we're coming from a civil war.
Oh, Jesus.
Mr. So, please, it's very serious business. Where young people used to dismantle bodies. When somebody, 15 years, 2023, that person is 36 now. 20 years, 2023 is 41. 18 is 39, 39. Mr. So, these are the ages that you find in the security forces. These are Liberians, young Liberians then. They are older now. They are young men that are serving in many of these security apparatus. What are some of the training that goes on into the police academy? Do they really go into the mindset of the young people that are coming in? And remember now, Mr. So, this is Liberia where we saw past government bring in general warlords to serve in the security apparatus. So if for us to sit here and question why would a policeman try to rob, then what is the training that this policeman has been getting? Mr. So, you do not expect the security apparatus system in Liberia to go to Guinea and borrow Guineans, go to Sierra Leone and borrow because they want somebody who is pure. These are our Liberians, brothers and sisters. We failed miserably when we had the opportunity we had a clean slate. God help us and give us a clean slate. But instead of us to clean ourselves so that we will not be in this position, we didn't do so. We went in as for instant gratification. Politicians came in because they wanted position and didn't look at the future. This is what we have. Knowing full well, the young Mr. So, please, this is very important to me. If you want me to be quiet, I will. It's your show. I'm very serious. You want me to be quiet? Okay, go ahead.
You're not addressing my question. I ask you a simple question, and you are pivoting.
I don't have to address it. I don't have to address your question. When you pose a question to me, you're giving me your time to respond, and I respond the way I see fit. So if you want me to be quiet, it's your show. I will be quiet. If not, please let me speak. The liberal and the board member is on the floor. Giving her respect, if you don't mind. So, Mr. So, on a very serious note, when we were supposed, the politicians, they came in forgetting to know what the future is. They knew very well that the younger generation were involved in the war. And they did not take clean to say, let's look at the mindset. We're not going to blame the kids that fought the war, but what happened to the mindset? What happened? What will happen if you put this kinds of person in a situation? What they do in a clinic? I'm not a police person. I'm not a security person. But I heard sometimes some of their training, they put you in a situation where you will be stressed. They put money or whatever, you become stressful. What will be your response? Do they give those kinds of training in Liberia to our brothers and sisters? We shouldn't be surprised. How do we deal with it now? It's what we need to find out. Male, I'm surprised he didn't come here with. I'm surprised Male didn't come in here tonight with a better Yala type conversation.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Look, you have never answered any of my questions being asked here this evening, and you are doing this on purpose as part of the ploy to always avoid and confuse the audience. And that's not what we're going to accept here. You just expose yourself here because you just simply do not want to hold anyone accountable for whatever reasons. Jerry Barton differ with you on that. Let me go to Mr. Goya. Mr. Goya, this is a very serious thing here. I listened to the liberal. I'm not sure whether he putting forward any solution as to avoid this thing here, but he giving justification things happen. Yes, so this whole one war. How many governments have we had since this war? How many elected government? Is that the justification to see? Or are we calling on national government, like Jerry said, people to be retrained, Nathan, but now you're breaking in the war to reawaken our old wounds here. That is unacceptable. Mr. Goya, how should government or what should the commissioner now do? Let's deploy common sense here. When we talk about it, we want to find solution to these things here because these things has its own long implication, especially that is involving investor. How many people listening? How many is on the print media? People are going to be reading it now. Should I go to that conference, see what is happening? That's what we are talking about. We need to help government, help government in the sense having this conversation, and that people that do these things on purpose or whatever reason they do it, if they have any collaborator, they must be held accountable because their own selfish gain endanger the growth of the economy as well. Let's hear you.
Well, I think you said it right that we're on this medium, and a lot of people will listen to us and watch us and form opinions based on that. So we have to be very careful what we even say on our own platform too. This is part of accountability, because there's a lot of things we don't know. And to make a judgment without having a lot of facts, I think is very dangerous because number one, we don't even know if this police officer that was suspended has been getting paid or not. That is not in the news. The IG leads a 5,000 man force, right? When I say man, I mean like people not female and male. I know they say they got 80% men and 20% female, but a 5,000 person force. I just look at the organizational chart of the Liberia National Police. There is an administration command. Within the administration command, you have the human resource officer that deals with suspension, employee relations, all the other pieces. You taking over a 5,000 member force. How much briefing, how much granular you want to be in the weeds to know who got suspended when, how many people got suspended what time, all the other pieces. I think it's unfair to say that somebody being suspended for 3 years, that the IG should have known about that. I don't think that is the briefing the IG gets at that level. But I think he got told after these people got arrested that, oh, by the way, the other guy there, he was suspended in 2018. So now he's getting that briefing from his HR. Do they have to do a better work at HR than when you suspend somebody? How long does it take to get him recalled or get him dismissed? I agree that 2018 to 2024 is a very long time to be suspended. You either call the person back or you dismiss them and then move on. But to lay that at the feet of Gregory Coleman and say, how old the men doing around the force? Liberia National Police, 5,000. Somebody go on operation and call them and say, let's go. And the IG is supposed to know that the men who call on the full account joining have been suspended since 2018. I think that is an unfair expectation of the IG. I just want to put it out there that is an unfair expectation. Now, having said that, the way the investigation is carried out, the speed and urgency and seriousness that's attached to the investigation, the transparency and the openness in communication with the public will be key. And for me, that's how I'll be looking to judge the IG, right? Because I don't want him to violate, to break the law in trying to uphold the law. You cannot violate the due process of these people, even though we're all calling for blood right now. But he has to be above that. He has to allow the process to play out. And when the process plays out, the findings should be made public. And if there are actions that are going to be taken, they should be within the law. Because I'm reading the case. I mean, I'm reading the report from the newspaper. The businessmen were claiming they had $24,000, but when they carried them to the police station, only $12,000 was listed by the police. And then when these guys' lawyers went to sign them out, $5,000 of that $12,000 could not be found.
God.
So this is serious. And that is why I think for me, I want to give the IG the space to operate. But this cannot be a business as usual where they think the public is going to forget about it and then it just goes on. The IG cannot afford to do that. If it does that, it will be one on my list of people to go after. There has to be an investigation. There has to be founding. There has to be action taking. Now, action taking does not necessarily mean that, people are dismissed. Maybe it doesn't rise up to that. Maybe we're just hearing this thing and it's being blown up. We don't know. That is why we need the IG to have an investigation within the police force and the funding being made public. And it has to be transparent.
Okay, talking about investigation, let's bring in our man, Nathan. Investigation by just calling the name is not just all to A, but the findings, the openness of the investigations. People should be held accountable. Who knew what, when, and how? What did you do to arrest the situation? And that's a critical point Sissy just mentioned. And that has been the challenge from time to time, from government to government. Things will happen, investigation, we will jump into it, we will talk and talk. At the end of the day, nothing come forth. We don't know how this investigation end, and only get a noise, oh, but the investigations are concluded. Here we are, this one is fresh. I'm not sure whether as of next week we'll still continue to have this conversation. You as an investigator, what will you be looking up to hearing from the police chief?
Ask him to recuse himself if he has any authority on the case, first of all, just for transparency purpose. He should recuse himself and take a step back from it. If I was him, I would defer to the Department of Ministry of Justice to, in fact, implement the investigation. What are we looking for? We're looking for how it happened, who, why, when, where, how. The 5W and 1H. So who did what? How did they know about it? Jared mentioned, was it an inside job? Who took them? Under what pretext were these people arrested? Why were they taken? So assuming that they committed a crime, why did they take them to the police station? Obviously, there has to be some criminal implication in there. If they just wanted to go there and commit an armed robbery, like some people mentioned, they would just take the money and then go, and they didn't even bring them to the police station. Why did they bring them? So all these different nuance. What are the indicators we're looking at? What are we trying to see in general? Or who are these investors? How did they come into the country? Who was their security personnel, if you will? What investments did they come in the country to do? Did they come through legal means? You mentioned all of that stuff, and I'll start there. So first of all, in order to establish how these people got there, I have to establish how the people got into the country. From that stand, right? Who are these people? Talking about this guy who the officer that got dismissed, being on the payroll since 2018, and I think Brother Goya is completely right. The level of briefings. So what we come from in this perspective is we call lesson learned. Lesson learned is when the next time someone takes over an agency of government or anywhere else, what should be in the briefing package for that person? How would they know? A patrolman, he's an inspector, right? How would he know a patrolman was suspended since 2018? Probably not. But now lesson learned, we're going to include that the HR person who's going to do the briefing for the HR arm or the administrative arm of the police has to include that in their briefings, when in the commander's update brief. So those are things you look for. And it's a simple matter to get to the bottom of, right? You mentioned that the guys mentioned everywhere in the news talk about 24,000. The guys themselves mentioned 12,000 when they got to the police station, and all of a sudden 5 of that 12 was gone by the time they got released. All those different implications. So there are so many accessories here that you can look at. The crime is, if there was one committed, there's so many things here. So again, if the distinction in the amount reported versus the amount reported to the cops, in the press versus the cops, that alone on its face should give us a reason to pause, right? And take a step back and say, listen, let's do this proper. Now, you can have a speedy investigation. In under a week, you could probably get an entire picture of what you're looking for. And I can definitely get those guys in. Well, I shouldn't say me, because I'm going to give myself, like the team of investigators, of course, would definitely get those guys in a week or so to come up with something and then present it. It would behoove the government to expedite it, right? It would behoove the police to expedite it. It would behoove because it has political as well as economic implications. So it will behoove everyone involved, all the stakeholders involved, to expedite it for their own own efficiency and just for the face of the police and things going forward. So those are things that I would do.
Okay, let me see. My microphone is on. Liberal, you mute my mic. You mute my mic.
We're hearing you.
Why would I mute your
We're
mic?
hearing you.
Why would I mute your mic?
I see your hand going on.
The new person you brought here, he's speaking too much BB English tonight. So we need to find out as to whether he even a Liberian. That first thing, we need to find out that. Because the kind of series that going on right now, that the first thing you
that it behoove get you.
Yeah, behoove. I tell you that behoove of that the one you go investigate. That the one you go investigate. So anyway, behoove.
You hear about cool people both Bennett? Papa, you hear about the cool people both Bennett?
I tell you.
Yeah, what the guys are doing. These guys,
Can I come in?
Number they are trying to find a way to label you, and that's exactly what he's doing now. Trust me, tonight you will get a free pass. Next week when you come here, he's going to find a name for you. Mr. Bacon, let's hear you.
You know, My brother did extremely well, or Mr. Number did extremely well. Yeah, you can hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
You can hear me? Okay. There's something called the urgency rule. You asked a question previously, or whether they have such warrant. No, there's sometimes you don't need such warrant to do so. But at the end result, you have to do it because if the person is a moving target, you don't have to have a search warrant. But if you do it, you got to go back to the judge and explain to the judge why you don't have a search warrant to be able to effect that arrest because of the urgency rule applied to that individual. That one thing we got to take into consideration. But they were in a hotel, they were not moving, and they were not running away, or it's not a moving car, or they were not on their full patrol, I'm gonna say full running away. So, but they were in a hotel. And sometimes because of the urgency rule, maybe the man will try to flush the evidence and stuff like that. You have the right to do it, but then you still have to go back to the judge and tell him that this is what happened. But here's the thing I want also to look at. The patrol officer who was dismissed, or who is dismissed, how does he get in contact with the senior officer to go effect an arrest? That's one thing. We've got to look at it. Because he and the senior officer have always been patrolling, or they are still in contact, because he's a senior officer, but now he's supposed to know. Because when I was in the police force, we have when you are suspended, even when they say when you do something, when they disrobe you, they take your gun and your badge, you're going home by yourself. They take all your ID card until you are reinstated, or you are going back for the time or what kind of disciplinary you want to take. They want to take at that time. So when they disrobe you, you get nothing. Your badge is taken away from you, your gun is taken away from you, your ID card, everything is taken away from you until wherever the investigation they want to do. But the important thing we want to take into consideration here, we have about 5,000 police people. How many of them are civilian? How many of them are police officers? So all these things they play a role into it. And beside that, let's step back a little bit. The person who controls the police department, beside the IG, is the chief of patrol or the chief of operation. Okay, these are the people who do day-to-day operation. The chief of patrol, maybe they change it, or chief of operation. These are the people who control the operation of the day-to-day activity, know what's going on into the police department. He would be able to brief the chiefs what's going on, and he's the person who assigned the people on their beat to be able to go on the beat. We got supervisor, the chief of patrol, we got supervisor, we got shift commander, then we got deck sergeant. So these are the process. Who go on that case? If you come from that case, you have to read an incident report. What if you effect an arrest? You got to prepare the charge sheet to be able to send a person to court. So all these things got to happen, because if you go to the hotel to arrest the people and you brought them to the police station, if you pick up any evidence, all the evidence will be implicated, will be on the charge sheet. How many were arrested? What the item that was retrieved? So all these things, we have to look at the police report. What was the police report? What did the police report say? So there are a lot of things that are still coming during the investigation. So let's wait and see.
Let's wait and see.
But CEO, let me push back a little bit on the IG himself, and I differ with Sissy. So are you telling me there are some administrative lapses going on in the police? This is a structural institution with various arms. So are we saying that this is a 4,500 plus entity, and the police director, through a command structure, someone suspended 2008, 2018, and with your command structure, you're telling me he's not supposed to know? So the question now is, what is his efficiency? Is he on top of his police structure force? All right. So are we saying that he should be called for investigation? I see this constitute part of the lapses, because then that means there are so many ghosts in there, and he's not even supposed to know about it. And that means a lot of people around the police force are impersonating, and he as an IG, is he not on top of things? So I disagree. He can be questioned. It's 4,500 police. Yes, he should be on top of his police. This is a structural institution. They have arms, all right?
Yeah.
They have deputies and all these things. So you're telling me
do you understand numbers?
I come in now.
5,000 plus.
What wrong with 5,000? Then that means you're not on top of the force. Libra,
Dr. Mali.
Yeah.
Additionally, what Mr. Goyer is telling us, he as a MAV director controls, I don't know how many teachers. Is he aware or not aware who is the teacher that is active now on
quite different from this case?
I'm not talking to you. You're not Cecil Goyer. You're not a lead.
Let me finish asking you a question. Let me package two of them and put in one place. They finish asking you a question.
Okay, because you're aligned with the liberals, so you want to package it. So, so Dr. Mali, I agree with you. That is in the.
Oh, you finish your question to me. You're asking about the man. You finish it.
Yes.
You're not going to ask the question again.
Yes, don't just agree with me. I haven't landed yet. To rather be frank, I still hold the view strongly that the IG should be questioned by the Justice Ministry. All right? You should have control over a police station. Secondly, this is a structural institution. You have capable deputies in there. All right. So we can say, oh, he's not supposed to know this. It's a big force, 4,500. You just get a 4,500. You don't know. So that means that there are even ghosting on our play. He just don't know. That means so many people even impersonating, he just don't know. So I disagree. I think these are lapses.
Okay, yeah, what I was talking to, and then sister, you can respond. We don't sanction voices here like the other people when they are in charge. What I'm saying, you as a, I don't want to call people here to dignify what they do here. What I'm saying, you as the MAV guy, director, supposing 4-5 schools or whatever, or in your district, whatever. But I'm quite sure you will be on top of your instructors who is on sick leave, who is off, who is not off. And if that person is off for whatever reason, that gap needs to be filled. That's what simply I'm saying. So the notion that, okay, well, there are 10,000 people, and so the IG, so then maybe we need to call for the upgrade system to where it needs, so the system needs to be digitized so that when there's issue, there should be some sort of red flag so that they will know who is active, because that's dangerous. If that person is still in control of arm, probably he could have caused more harm than what we are talking about here in terms of lives and other things. Go ahead.
You know, I can tell from Mr. Mali's comment that I don't think he's considered this organization as being a massive organization. I don't think he's led or read on how people lead many people. You are looking at, I share in the group, the organizational chart. You have the IGP command, you have the administration command, you have operation command, you got CSD command, you got training command. That's a 5,000 force. And you asked the question, I'm going to answer your question about the math thing. And by the way, my school district has about 80 schools that I'm responsible for. No, I do not know who is on leave. That is an HR issue. I don't lead human resource. That is why we have separation of powers. We got departments that handle that. And when somebody's on leave, sometimes depending on the reason for the leave, it might be handled by employee relations, and I might not even be told the entire detail, because sometimes it borders on privacy and a lot of 500 things. So let me answer that question for you. If this were a Benabo school, Kalego school, where I got 5 teachers and myself, yeah, then I know where all my 5 teachers are, and I know one of them take leave. In organizations as massive as the police, as Liberal National Police, It is impossible.
No.
It is impossible for the incoming chief to get briefed on minutia as little as a patrolman that is being suspended. And I agree with what my brother Nathan said, that this could be a case of lesson learned. But when I took over my department, I didn't have that granular stuff because I have a department that deals with that. It's called Human Resources. And the police has a department that deals with that. It's called Human Resources and Liberal National Police. So people having ghosting, now ghosting. At this point now, we get grabbing on straw and seeing it now keep us from drowning intellectually. Is the Liberal National Police, the IG, supposed to be checking on payroll to see who getting money, not getting money? That is the work of the HR and the Civil Service Department, the Civil Service Agency. Not the Inspector General of the Liberal National Police. That is a gross misunderstanding of organizational structure and organizational leadership.
So, in addition to that, and now,
CEO, can I come in
No,
just
no, no,
1
you can't do
minute?
that. You can't do that.
Let me clarify something.
who are you? Yeah, coming before you clarify. I'm not sure where CC is going with this.
I don't know.
Yes, overall, HR is a supplement of the Liberian National Police under the supervision of the Commissioner of Police. Unless you want to tell me, I'm not speaking to you. What's your problem? You hear I know you are a dire supporter, so a lot of things, emotions, a lot of feelings.
Finny, because I think that you understand what I was saying. So let me correct your understanding.
I heard you very well and well.
No, you didn't. You're trying to put a spin on it.
Let me tell you. You are telling us, or you are telling the audience, it is impossible because there are 10,000 people within the police. Unless you want to tell us equally that there is no structure and there's no command sharing of information. That's what you want to tell us.
Yeah, man.
So if they have, hold on, let me finish. Let me tell my point. That's my understanding. You have to convince me and convince the audience.
No, not convincing. I'm not convincing.
Yeah, whatever you want to say. But I'm telling you, if anything goes wrong within the Liberian National Police, the IG, the commissioner, what are the HRO, the Interpol section, he is the commissioner. He needs to know everything that goes on there. If it falls short, yes, if people want to give excuse to say, oh, that just 9 months is enough, it's sufficient for you to know. So you people want to tell us if there were 10 police officers there who were disrobed but still carrying guns and they were to do any damage tomorrow, then we'll come here to say here because the police is massive institution, so we don't know about these 10 people that are being disgruntled or renegade police officer and they are carrying guns. Is that how we're going to be doing that? Is that the answer we're going to provide to the safety of our people? Go ahead.
Okay. So let me disabuse you of your spin you want to put on this. You know, when you release the few days, you don't get me all right now, do me fine. You just carry the whole thing around and end it or somewhere where it was not even what I was saying. I in nowhere said that there is not a structure and there's not people irresponsible. I pointed out to you that there's an HR department. I pointed that out. And I've in nowhere said that if anything goes wrong with the National Police, that the IG is not accountable. I've in nowhere said that. The point I'm making here is Dr. Mali's gross misunderstanding of organizational leadership and organizational structure. To point out that somehow the patrolman, the IG is supposed to be aware of a patrolman that had been suspended before he took office. That should be a part of his briefing. And that the IG is supposed to be aware of people that are ghost names on the payroll and everything. And I'm trying to disabuse him of that is not a role of the IG. And that is not even the briefing that the IG will expect to be getting, or ghost names and other stuff. In no place have I pointed out that the IG is not accountable for whatever happens at the National Police. Nowhere have I said that. So you put a spin on it, that's fine. But you carry all that thing around, and it was none of those things that I said. What I say, and I continue to say, is that this is not a Benabor school where you got 5 teachers, and when you come in, you're one of them and there, and you know exactly. You're talking about one person out of a 5,000 police force. What is the probability? And again, it's not even a commander. a patrolman, what is the probability and the chances that at that granular level you will be briefed as an inspector general on that? My point I'm making here is that chances are high that he got told about this person because of the crime that or the alleged crime that happened. And so he got told this person is this person is this. Oh, by the way, that person has been suspended since 2018. That is the reason I said you don't have enough facts. We don't make conclusion. We wait, let the facts roll out, because then we'll find out when the IG knew what and when he did not know what.
Okay. Let's
They didn't call President Baka Neo they want yet. Because that's the next thing they will try to wrap it around the president.
Quickly, let's take the two line calls here, then I will get back before I get back to the live view. Breakable, let's hear you.
Yeah, thank you so much for your show. You know, it not surprised me us. It not surprised some of us. I don't know if you know monetary guys, but it not surprised us. When you listen to Liberal talking, you can see the salary. You can see the salary that you receive it.
The what?
We listen to
what Liberal got to do with it? Liberal, I think you talk for.
Oh, you on payroll?
You know, salary, yeah. You know,
wow.
My boss is it. Listen what you just said. It also lovable. We discussing like the man's a heck of a whole entity. They say they may not know the person on the payroll, the person know the person. Listen, the person discussing the person top bar, that it may not official, you person, and not the ordinary person. The person said also suspension. 2018. Or now the ordinary policeman also official.
No, you got it wrong. You got it wrong.
Get it right. It's not just pro member. You know, security. Also, top bra in the security in the session. So that's thing that the things that you're ordinary police. The message official in our government. Top bra.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you for sure.
All right, thank you.
So now you see the
At
reason.
least he's getting paid. I'm not a liberal one getting paid. So at least he's
let me finish with this person that come back. 203-9037.
Thank you, brother. So the great independent, and I would like to say hi to all of the panelists.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, especially, I see we have I can't even see the name but the new brother from Minnesota. Welcome to the show.
You're not from Minnesota.
So, I don't think maybe some of the panelists listening to the IG. The IG spoke on this thing, and I yet was still saying, "Oh, maybe they can suspend it now because they can't do this to them because they got to do touring."
CDC phone.
Oh goodness.
CDC phone.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and let until he can come. He can call.
Yes.
The Clarence Davis. Clarence, are you there? Oh boy. Yeah, go ahead. Let
me just elevate the conversation and bring people up to speed or something.
The call drop. It was saying that another call can just kind of kick you off. Yeah, okay, go ahead quickly.
So the IG said there was wrong arrest. The people broke into the people hotel who all search a seizure warrant, whatever. They wrongly arrested the people. They took the people property wrongly. He said everything because he announced it. There was not something that said, "Oh, he alleged." But for you to still keep those people, I think they should not even get paid. They should be suspended, pending serious investigation, and facing possible prosecution for committing
suspended
against those people. Ain't no like, oh, they gotta go through investigation. Somebody accused the other person. No, the police IG himself said those people illegally broke into the people hotel room and arrested them, brought them to the police station, and took their belongings. As a matter of fact, he even went to say that even the 5,000 that in question, the guy who they call Bala, said to the people to release them. They should give them 5,000. And how the 5,000 or even given to those people so they can be released. The lawyer didn't know. Later on, the lawyer got to know or Councilor Gu got to know the whole story. So I think it's sad for the police and Gregory, and should come out stronger and even say these people all of them will be suspended and will all pay and go through investigation, and they found guilty for what they did, they sentenced to jail for what they did.
All right, thank you so much. Let's go back on the live view as we try to wrap up. Go ahead quickly, Jones, and I will go to the Liberal Progressive. And
what I wanted to say here is that I just wanted to bring Sissy up to speed when it comes to proactive administration. Okay, there's something called administrative interconnectivity. Yes, let's get into organization management now. The HR is not autonomous, it's not unto itself. Except now you're telling me the various branches and arm of the police, they are operating autonomously in the absence. There's something called Monday briefing, where all the deputies, including the HR, they meet and they share notes and they even brief the heads of administration. How do they make budget? He has to know. Okay? Apart from that, personnel must be on top of the palm of the organizational head. Yes? So if someone has been in this place since 2018, you won't tell me as an IG, when you want to serve as a deputy, you don't know what's going on down there? Your people not briefing you? These people, they are not autonomous unto themselves.
Okay.
Okay. They're supposed to be making these reports to the IG, but the IG must be up to speed to request for this report. There's something called curious. He has to be curious to find out what's going on. He got to move around. Okay. So if you tell me this, I mean, let's leave it there.
No, you're not even there. I gotta come back to correct you. Getting changed.
No, hold on. I'm conducting. I'm calling to a point because I don't gotta speak there. So yes, I'm not saying.
I'm just taking this thing to another level, where administration is administration. 4,500 is not massive. Let me let you know right now, it's not massive.
But we got two security.
All right, I'm coming now.
Yeah, but you just dragging it in between you and says we get two security. We're not doing good service to these people. These people alone can answer the question.
Terry,
let me correct. Let me call him back.
Okay, Dr. John, your points. I think Morris back on wanted to come in.
Terry, you gotta be on easy on this issue.
I'm not on easy. I just think that you overdoing it. We got two security experts on the show.
Oh man,
let them speak to the issue and settle the matter so we can move on.
If I'm overdoing it, you can politely recuse yourself, oh man. What I'm saying here is, I have yes, you have the right to recuse yourself.
You're telling people to get off the show.
No, I say you have the right. Yes, of course.
You're backing your co-host.
No, I have the right to recuse myself. If
it's
wasting my time on this platform, I can leave.
Go ahead, Dr. Jones.
Okay,
I'm not that rude to do that.
Well, I can leave.
I'm not rude
to
do that.
What I'm saying here is that administration is administration. This thing will keep calling massive. It's not massive. The police, the IG should be on top of his game. All right. Except you telling me the HR is autonomous, it can do whatsoever it wants to do. The very deputies, they are autonomous, they can do what they want to do. How do they prepare budget? How do they prepare payroll? You don't know the strength of your government. I mean your security network. This is a structural institution. So I disagree with you.
The woman who were here in museum.
Can I say something real quick?
Hold on one second. Sister, hold on 1 second. Jerry, after Jerry, I will bring you in.
No. You brought a man in. I need 10 seconds. I'm not even going to go deep with it. I have to respond to your co-host. He's not going to just.
You will respond.
You roll it.
We're not going to
respond.
You're not going to, you say your point, you're going to say, I said, back on what's coming. You hold on to your point, jot down your point, you will speak. Back on, let's hear you quickly.
Sister, go ahead. No, I'll give you the opportunity. Sister, go ahead. Sister, go ahead.
You know, when my papa finished talking sometimes, you take 5 minutes to say something that could have been said in 6 seconds. I think that's what Terry was trying to say here. Nobody has said that any branch of the agency was autonomous. I keep telling you there's an organizational chart. So why would I say that?
No, you didn't say that. You said HR can report to the IG.
Dr. Male, please let me speak. Please say that. Let me school you some more. Let me school you some more. The point, Dr. Male, when you're talking our choir, you said that and learn small.
You say HR cannot respond. You say HR cannot report to IG.
Mr. Bako, give me a time. Let me use the time.
Hold on.
Mr. Bako, give me a time and use the time back. You will be quiet. You're talking, I didn't say nothing. You will be quiet.
Don't mislead him.
Dr. Male, you'll be quiet. You'll be quiet. You will listen. You will learn.
Listen, I am in charge. You running the show, so it's not a liberal wing show here. I'm making sure everything I say, like, be quiet. He spoke already. You need to speak. Go ahead.
Yeah, and so all I said was that there is an organizational chart. There's an organizational structure. As a matter of fact, I dropped the link in the chat room a long time ago, and I spoke about the administrative section. And I spoke about who's in charge of administrative section. And I talked about HR and said who's in charge of hiring and personnel. No. So where in that, with me saying that there's an organizational structure, that you somehow deduce that they are autonomous. If they were autonomous, why would they be part of the organizational structure? The very fact that I mentioned an org chart should tell you that I'm not telling you that they're autonomous. But again, I will let it rest there, like Terry said, and let other people talk about the security piece. But whenever somebody talks about an organizational chart and they reference sections in an organization, that means those sections are not autonomous. Maybe you took that word, you wanted to use it today because my brother said behooves, and they said, people can get the A, you tree your own there. But I did not tell you anything.
We're not here for competition, old man.
Okay, yeah, but you had this complication because you say it was massive. You say the word massive, it means the director is not massive.
No, I did not. When I say massive, it does not mean that the director does not have control. I did not tell you that. So if you assume from that, then that's
I cannot interpret. Yeah, but
they asked me.
I can ask you. We are having a discourse.
You say you assume. No, assume. Yeah, I'm still here. Why are you assuming?
Yeah, I said we are communicating. It's not just.
Yeah, but then you ask questions. You don't make assumptions.
When you're making your points, you have to be precise. Jerry Barker, are you still talking?
Don't assume. I still living you. Don't make assumption. Ask me. That's how we have to.
Ask me. I'm listening to you guys. I mean, let you say that.
You wave your time. You wave it. I'm going to go to the map now.
That means I'm taking my time.
That's fine.
No,
it's not a minute time.
You're done. Wait. Okay. So, Mr. Namwe, let me just come to you. The liberal, you never run here. Don't be putting anything out here that you have no business of putting out. Okay? Do not put anything out that you have no business putting on the screen. So, Nathan.
Yes, sir.
I know it's sort of convoluted one. I don't think it is, but we need to that's part of holding people accountable. If you are head of institutions, every section, every department, you must be on top of the game because at the end of the day, it's just on you. What is the difficulties having an institution with 10,000 persons? Let's add additional part to this number, even if that's the number. I don't know what is the latest number now. But usually in cases like this or similar ones or with your experience, how does it work in terms of chain and providing information? Because he could face the international cable news and we're asking, are you aware of this individuals? He's a law enforcer. Still being in the system here, I could make a good guess that he still carries his badge. He might most likely be carrying a pistol if he's in it. If he's a patrol person, he has to be equipped. And if you were to face the international cable and asking, is this guy, is it true he's been suspended? Yes. Are you aware? Yes. In the case of Terry answering yes, yes. Then the question becomes, has it been reinstated? And then when the answer becomes no, how is he still wearing the uniform of the Liberian National Police? What could be the answer now with an alleged crime or with a crime coming from the police chief being committed? How can you exonerate himself? Who should be held accountable?
So I don't know if it's a question of being held accountable or exonerated. I think the innocence in the statement itself to acknowledge that the man was suspended and still being on the force alone, as an investigator myself, shows the innocence. It shows some sort of innocence, because there's no way you present that picture to anyone sound-minded person to say that person was suspended and they've been suspended since 2018. But having said that, what we're talking about here, we're talking about the structural and capacity of the institution. And so again, it goes back to lesson learned. Greg took over from Patrick Suru a few months ago. So, but there might not be infrastructure in place to brief him on that level, the nuance at that low level of what's happening in the force. Is it something that should happen? Obviously. Did it happen? Probably not. Right? So we're not saying that there's any autonomy within the structure of the force itself. What we're saying is that it didn't rise to his level, and unfortunately,
what we are saying, he said. Oh, I like the young man.
Yeah.
What we are saying.
What we're saying is like, is that rise to his level, or he wasn't briefed on it? So that's just on his face. That's what it is.
Your face, team, is the.
Yeah. So that's
you're having a deep position here. I'm listening.
That's understood.
We're not talking with emotions. We are national issues.
When you are introducing here, you are doing a problem here. He said, what we are saying.
That's why we listen to independent mind. He's speaking.
Go ahead, speak your mind. So sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You're right, sir. So should we know about it going forward? Can they learn something from it? Those are lessons learned. We capture it now, and so hopefully himself and people that will come after him will look at that and say, listen, now we want a briefing. No matter what it is, we need to be told. There are things that happen. I was able to supervise over 1,000 soldiers before. I don't know what's happening, so I depend on my squad leaders. I depend on my section chiefs to tell me what's happening. I don't know what they're doing, and so if they don't bring it to me, unfortunately, I don't know. But again, it always talks about solving problem at the lowest level possible. First of all, what crime or what did it not? I shouldn't say crime. I'm going to take that back. What did the offense did this patrolman commit that made him suspended for that particular time, that length of time? So all that is the nuances we can go into, and probably not right now. But having said that, again, let's just look at the bigger picture here and say, listen, we need to have this investigation done and done expeditiously, as soon as possible. It needs to get done. It has a huge political implication. It's not a CDC versus UP versus ANC versus whoever thing. It's a Liberia thing, because it has investment, it has economic implications, it has all these other things. So instead of standing on a mountaintop and screaming bloody murder, let's just take a step back. Let's slow the tempo down and just make sure we get the facts right. We cannot violate the law in order to protect the law. So let's take a step back. Again, let them do the due diligence and make sure. But like the caller mentioned about the police director saying directly these people commit crime, it is alleged those crimes were committed. Until the facts are done, everything is an allegation to that extent, right? So as far as we know, it's an allegation of these people committed this crime, And until we get to the bottom of it and to come up with their finding, then of course we can decide what we want to say.
Okay, what a great conversation. It's
This is
10:04.
what Mr. Clarence David is saying about you, my brother. Let's read it, Mr. To and that good English. Yeah, he's speaking good English. Let me say this, Mr. So. Let me say this.
Hold on.
I tell you,
Can I come in, please? Can I come in, please?
Go ahead,
We are
Jerry.
closing up. We give you an opportunity. You decide to waive your rights.
There we go.
You can, hold on.
He throwing the book at you, Jerry.
Guys, we have to maintain.
Okay, that come to me now, Damatan.
You will make a closing statement. When you make a closing statement, you do it.
Damatan, thank you. This is what I'm going to say. Mr. Nabe, thank you very much. I think even if you claim to be independent, I think Dr. Mali, this is how independence speaks.
Oh.
They don't come here and say, oh, CEO, let me speak my independent man. You're subjected independent man. I've been thrown under the bus tonight. he brought Mr. Nabe and said, this is the Indian you pumping your face change straight when the young man started giving a true independent picture of what's supposed to happen. Thank you. Look, what I'm going to say, I don't know anything about management business. That one of the reasons, ever since I got to Caltrain, I refuse to do their management team business because I don't want you play with me, you myself that BT. I will come waste time with management business. But yes, the serious thing here about this number. 5,000 plus. And you expect the IG to know that the man was suspended. Granted, the buck stopped with him. Now, if you were to say, Dr. Mali, that perhaps the how do you call it, the people who the HR, they were supposed to brief this man, they haven't done it. These are the people we need to roll from the HR. I can see that. But for you to go 2-3 steps ahead because you want to take somebody to better yada, it's not happening on the show tonight.
Okay.
We are here to make sure you will keep you in your better yada place. You're not going to succeed here tonight. Thank you very much for the show. It was a wonderful one. Please come tomorrow and join us. Please send me an email and join us. I think you will be a very good addition to our kinds of shows.
Are you sure? Yeah, man. Okay, thank you so much, Lipo. Who wants to go? Mr. Bacon?
No, can I put a chance? Then go ahead. I'll speak last. That's fine.
Okay, let me come in.
All right.
I gotta take my daughter.
No, but you just finished.
Finish what? You're not a moderator here.
There we go. Here we go. He come and see you. You kill me.
Yeah. I strongly believe that the IG will have to take the blame. You see, in administration, excuses or will undermine the essence of any organization. Someone just coming in, it's 9 months. If the IG, if he doesn't have his payroll, his personnel to know who have been fired before he even came in, or people who went on leave, we're not talking about structure. So if we are saying that we have structure, we need to discuss. A proactive IG should know these things. It's no excuse here that he just coming in. All right. When I said the justice minister should get the guy investigated, it was like, oh no, why no? The buck starts with him. Why if the guy had gone to murder people? Is that what we're going to be saying here? Oh, he just coming in, and no arm of the police is autonomous. All the deputies, I don't know how they're running it there, but they're supposed to meet and have briefing and discuss details. The HR has got a lot to even say in those type of meetings in the first place, especially when it comes to personnel and budgeting. All right. So the buck still start with the IG. He should be questioned by the Justice Ministry. No excuse there. All right. It been 9 months. No excuse. He should be here responsible for that. And I still stand by that.
Thank you so much. That's why we have this critical conversation. Who's going next? Cecil, Terry. Okay, Mr. Goya.
Me, but I still sitting down by my own because I'm not standing. The issue here, nobody, not me, not Nathan, or anybody here who spoke on the issue, has said that the bug does not stop with the IG. We are discussing organizational leadership, organizational management, and particularly when you have branches to deal with certain aspects of an organization. We continue to say that we call out here that there is an organizational chart. By virtue of that, it means that no part of that organization is autonomous or independent. That is the reason they are part of the chart, the organizational chart. I lead a lot of people. I have an HR department. I have a contract department. I have a legal team. I don't go discussing legal issues. Just go to my legal team to deal with that. And so unless it's something very egregious rises to a certain level, I don't get to about HR issue sometimes in detail. And so to suggest that a guy who leads the police force for an entire nation coming in 2 years plus, 2018, maybe till now, but 5 years almost plus, somebody was being suspended, that person's suspension from 2018, from years ago, will rise to the level of a briefing of the Inspector General of the Liberian National Police is laughable, and it suggests that folks do not understand organizational leadership. And I'll sit by that.
Okay. Mr. Collins.
Well, thank you for the show.
Colin probably going to excuse him. He's going to recuse himself now.
Well, I'm not that rude, to just leave the show. If I don't want to come on, I will just reject the link. But what I want to say is that the RG did take responsibility, and part of taking responsibility, that what Dr. Nangbe said, I don't know if the doctor heard him. What Dr. Nangbe said was that by coming to the public to tell the public that this guy was suspended and that he was on that particular operation is accountability, is also transparency. And part of the role of the police is to build credibility with the public in the police, what they call. That is what Gregory was doing. Another thing is that Gregory did not say he did not know this man was suspended. So I don't know where you're getting the information from, but apparently he did not know that this suspended officer was on the operation. It's just that simple. So there's a possibility, and he is to be responsible. I didn't hear Mr. Nangbe and what his name, Mr. Bakon saying that Gregory should not take responsibility. No, they did not say that. They say, yes, he should be held responsible. And that is part of his responsibility, is to explain to you. When last did Patrick Sulu tell or anything for 6 years concerning all these police officers that were suspended in the police? You ever heard about it? You ever heard press briefing from Patrick Sulu in regards to any misbehavior of the police force? There were police people that were to major entities that were wearing police clothes, and all of that. They were wearing police uniform, and most of them were not even police officers. They were taking money from people during Jawia time. There were a lot of killings. Up to now, Patrick Sulu cannot give us a definite investigation as regarding major incidents that led to the death of our citizens. Then we are talking about a police officer, a police RG, that even that issue that took place in Kinjo, Gregory Coleman came and told us he took responsibility for that and is still going on an investigation. Another incident took place with the killing of somebody. He came and there were police officers that were dismissed. He gave us every time session, he gave a quarterly briefing about the activities in the police. This was something that we have not seen for the past 6 years. So for me, like what everybody is saying, for me, I will give him the opportunity to prove us wrong for the investigation to play out. And let him come and tell us step by step how the investigation is going on. That is my position. Thank you.
There you go, Terry Collins. So Mr. Nambe and Gerald Blackham put it into the context that we can get a good takeaway here. Investigations is such a tedious work because you have to gather a lot of facts. It's not something of a circumstantial because you have to make a case. Considering with the limited that we know in terms of the information that is coming in, the urgency in my own context, considering investors involved and all of that. Ideally, so what is the time frame? If you were the one sort of asked to be the lead investigator in this thing, how long you think it would take to be able to get some answers to the public? Or let's say you were speaking to the IG for the group of to put this thing to a rest. What would be the advice?
Give or take as expeditious as possible, a week and a half to 2 weeks max. And I would do daily, if not weekly, updates or briefings for folks to know, because you have to give your initial brief. You got to do supplemental briefs and everything. Just update. You have to update the public. You have to be in the face of the public as much as possible to show transparency, to give the police that gravitas and that they need to continue to exist and in order in that particular space. But having said that, I just want to say thank you all for allowing me the opportunity to come here and discuss issues about our country. Now, we're here for a reason. I'm sure we have guests, we have people who listen to us. And so as we go and we talk and we try to sensationalize it, we have an obligation to ourselves, but also to our country, where we have these discussions, because people listen and it go firsthand. That's why the first thing I mentioned is to deconstruct the minds of our people of jumping to conclusion in anything for that matter. We've seen people lose their lives during the war. We've seen people almost lose their property and everything else just for people jumping to conclusions about it. So we have an obligation here. When we come here to talk and talk to our people, let's, as much as possible, we want to sensationalize, which is fine, it's good for the show business, but we have to be cautious in how we proceed, because again, long term, it has an effect on whatever we do. Having said that, I think
the one part talk for yourself. That one, the speculation and nothing because the king of it. That one, I talk for yourself.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please. Yeah, I know. But that's an obligation. That's why I mentioned before I came here, I'll be as constructive and as fair, as balanced as I can, and not to to go whatever way. Because one, my career and everything that I do, in fact, ensures that I'm that particular person, and obviously. But Terry mentioned it, of course. We all mentioned that the buck stops with the IG. That's his agency. What we're saying here, obviously, again, and as Mr. Tose we are saying is good English, like good English, like good English. But what we're saying is that the buck stops with him. We also have to look at the structure and the infrastructure built around the institution to function. The police will get it. I'm sure they will get it right. They'll get it right. They'll get it right to the fact that this guy functioned as a suspended police officer since 2018 till now. They'll get it right. They'll get it right. The folks that went in there and arrested those folks and got the money and everything, they will get it right. I trust they will get it right. I hope they'll get it right. Right. But as much as they get it right, what do we do now to ensure that this never happens again? That's what we need to go with this. And so as we do this, let's continue to talk and have a conversation around it. And again, I'm happy to be here. You don't understand. I had a blast tonight. My son was laughing at me in the background. I had a blast here tonight, so I'm happy to be here anytime. And so I'm hoping Liberia first. Whatever we do and our conversations, Liberia first. And thank you guys again for allowing me the opportunity to be here.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, thank you so much. Mr. Gerald Bacon.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Namwe. Thanks for being here. I know somebody asked a question whether our police officers are trained now. Our police officers are trained, but it left for the individual. You can go to school and learn all you want, but sometimes it's happening this way. Because when I graduated from the academy, we had a train. In fact, it helped me when I came into this country. It helped me to follow my education because some of the things I learned on the academy, it helped me a lot when I came to this country to start going to school. So that academy, I didn't know about it today. I cannot speak for today, but when I graduated from there, it was a renowned institution. They sent people from different countries to come to the police academy at that time to study police science, and they will go back to their country. So it was an outstanding police institution. And the second thing is the police, when it comes to the case, I think I would recommend that to get transparent, I think my brother spoke about it, Nambo spoke about it, let's get an independent individual rather than the police then will come and do their own investigation. I know they can do the internal investigation before you can do external investigation. But at this time, for transparency, set up institution or renowned individual in our country and let them do the investigation. He can do a little briefing, like my brother said. He can maybe every 2 days or every 3 days, he can do a briefing and say, this is what's going on. Give it to somebody outside that will do the investigation and do the recommendation. What will happen if the DA want to prosecute in a fine, the county attorney want to prosecute in a fine, the minister of justice want to prosecute in that fine. But here's the interesting part. The IG himself, the thing happened on the 12th. The minister of justice do not know about the thing until it happened that Saturday, Sunday, Monday. 4 days before the minister of justice know it. How possible can that be? Before you can go brief the minister of justice. Come on, folks. We have to take some responsibility. He is the immediate boss. If such a thing happened, the first person you should have gone to is the minister of justice. This is what's going on. This is what happened. You know, that's the first person you pick up the phone. So thank you for having us. We'll still talk about it. I know there'll be new development, and maybe we'll revisit it when it comes to the issue. But our police people, and you may train these people, but I don't know what's going on, to be honest with you, because we spend a lot of money after the on-mill did a lot of training.
Okay, guys.
Which of course I know.
All right, Nathan, thank you so much. We're always glad to have you here, and this is a sort of conversation. You know, one thing you forgot, Mahina Fe, nobody more, nobody here Fe in my mouth. So that's who he is. So we used to it. So just get used to it. The person you here is not guaranteed. It's just for this night. Trust me. Next day you will say, oh, they may have somebody. Yeah, but at the level of guys, thank you so much, and have a pleasant week. Dr. Jones, do not mind the liberal wing of this network. You have never been fired. You were never fired. It is a fake news. These guys, the liberal and his collaborators are.
We get a video. We save that video. You try to delete it. We save it.
But I'll play the video tomorrow. I'll play the video tomorrow. We got it. I already saved it. That will be my opening line. I said. Say you want to do it like that. I will be my opening.
Co-host, can you guys go, please? Liberal, Sissy, back on, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. We got a video.
People made that full of trouble, man. Okay, so well, that's how we're gonna leave it. Thank you so much, and have a pleasant evening. So So this is what's going to be happening next weekend right here in the ocean state of Rhode Island. A group of career resource for potential talented women involved in multitudes of roles. Women of substance will be having a dinner board at the beautiful chandelier front right there, the Armenian Hall, that is 70 Jefferson Boulevard, right here in the ocean state of Rhode Island.
I hear what you never get some money when you swat.
And as usual, the sound from the southeastern side that I named Blacku Gay, beautiful song here. Thank you so much for that contribution. Madam Esther Clark Fredericks, good evening. Thank you always for being here. I know the liberal here. Keta, good to have you here as well. Saturday, Yalatia, hopefully I'm calling your name. Thank you for joining us. Of course, our new converted member with the moderate Fatu VM Sherry. Fatu left the liberal and his supporter, and thank you for being here. Jeremiah Davis, good to have you here. Thank you so much. Zion, thank you for your time. Fatu, thank you for being here this evening. And that's how we're going to do it. Leave it here this evening. And of course, if you are within the ocean state of Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Connecticut, next Friday, Women of Substance will be having a dinner board in the beautiful chandelier room of the Armenian Hall, 70 Jefferson Street, right on Capitol Hill, in the city of Providence, Rhode Island. As we're still waiting for you here, hopefully, don't take us to 2025, please. Don't take us to 2025. Jolie, thank you so much for being here. Always, Victor Morgan, Chroma, good to have you here. Milk Lord, thank you so much for all of your time. And I want to thank you so much for your time this evening. By the way, if you have any of your functions, nowhere is so far. Last weekend, this whole weekend, I was in Des Moines, Iowa. Part of that is our community engagement. We don't just want to talk, focus on government, but also see what is happening within our community. If you have a major event that you think you want us to give it coverage, just let us know. Trust me, we will be there. Call us. We don't just want to beg for money. Call us, we'll have a conversation, and we'll give you that spotlight. Until then, have a pleasant evening. Bye-bye.